I'm Leathur Rokk. Welcome to my channel. I want to point something out to you that has been left behind on the famous Atlantic City Boardwalk. Now, can you see this? I'm referring to paint left on the boardwalk, and while it's not unattractive, I'm going to show you some more paint. This is all paint that was not cleaned up. Hello, we got a squirrel. Hello. There is more paint here. Look at this. Now, where I'm standing is roughly in front of Chickies and Petes, and it's on the other side of the Tropicana, as you can see here. This spot here, there has been an artist for the past several months. He also has a boombox blasting that obnoxious rap garbage. And this is, you can see, a block away from where I wanted to play my guitar. Okay, this would have been a great spot too, even though you get music playing both from Chickies and Petes and from the sound system thing of Tropicana. But the good thing about either of these spots is sometimes you can get the Tropicana Wi-Fi. And if you're like me, that you're live streaming and stuff for YouTube, for instance, you're welcome to Signal. But while the cops kicked me literally off the boardwalk, said if I'm seen with my guitar again, they'll fine me $1,000. There's an obvious war on the poor, and maybe especially a war on white people. I don't know. I'm starting to think that's really what's going on here. But this artist is allowed to sit here, stand here. He's got an easel. It's a big, professional-looking artist thing, and he has a boom box that's, again, blasting very loud to be heard over and drown out this stuff. So you've got all these competing sound sources. You've got this thing. You've got arguably definitely the better music from Chickies and Petes. Then people have their own devices. Then, of course, you have random cops that go and tell people that their boom boxes or their cubes or their speakers are too loud, like what happened with Batman the other day. And people like Batman are getting ticketed for supposedly too loud music, and that's ridiculous. If cops, when we have called them for assistance, never had decibel meters in their cars, what makes you think a cop walking around or driving one of these buggies on the boardwalk has a decibel meter? And yet they're supposed to determine who's too loud and who isn't, and all the loud people and things that they ignore on this boardwalk. There is a definite singling out and war on people. That's absolutely what's going on. Now, when I was out here playing guitar, I was not defacing property. I was not leaving messes behind. This should be cleaned up. This is evidence that some people that are doing things to make a coin on this boardwalk are littering, are making things look worse than they were. The worst thing that my guitar playing ever did was occasionally I would lose picks underneath the boardwalk. That's the worst thing I was guilty of. I was never too loud. I never offended people. I tried to keep my cuss words limited in my songs so that little kids didn't see them. I was not something that would make the city look bad. But you'll have people who are getting away with making money and are actually, look at this. Look at this paint. I talked to the artist one time, and he told me that I should go to City Hall or go wherever social service agencies and apply for a panhandling license. Do you know how degrading that is? Musicians are not beggars. I'm not saying they might not be sometimes, but it's bad enough that some people and some cultures equate it all with begging. And it's really disgusting when, and you see signs on you know how every 2 blocks or so we have kiosks that are supposed to supply Wi-Fi on the boardwalk. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Do you see that thing that says, well, it said welcome to Atlantic City, now it says something else. But they sometimes have a little reminder. The one that says "Don't feed the seagulls." There's another one that says "Don't just say no to panhandling." And he said give to organizations that actually help. Even though so many of these organizations they get money from the federal government, and how many people are they helping? You know who helps? Any organizations that are giving food to food banks, sources of free food, that is a way to help people. Yes, that is. But as far as trying to interfere with people that are trying to be self-employed on the boardwalk, instead of the city wants to push everybody way up by resorts, where I was there yesterday, and I was there on Columbus Day, and it is so saturated with people that are playing loud musical instruments, or they're painting shells, or they're sitting on the ground with a hand painted sign saying hungry and homeless, anything will help, God bless, and they all say the same thing. And you see piles of cardboard that people have saved up so that they have a place to curl up and sleep, even though I don't know where people are even sleeping now, since they're issuing $300 sleeping in public tickets. And I'm seeing more and more signage saying that this is a smoke-free area. And okay, one of the things that I saw which made no sense is they have a sign in front of Boardwalk Hall saying it's a smoke-free area, and it's like that is the biggest place where people are smoking in, just before going to a concert or something, coming out of a concert, or maybe getting ready to watch something that's being held on that stage. That makes no sense at all. But then again, neither does it make any sense that they had signs against skateboarding on the stage when that was a logical, safe place for kids to practice their tricks where they weren't anywhere near being in traffic or something. God forbid a person has a safe place to skate. Again, these are so-called nuisance laws are only harming people. That's what it's doing. Hey, pigeon. Hello, pigeon. But yeah, look at all this paint that's left behind. That isn't right. And you know it didn't come from anybody else. But cops leave him there. And if he had any kind of license, I didn't see it attached to him. You know. But I just can't help but feel with this town, it's excising people. It's making room away from people is what it's doing. It's basically saying, we don't want you, there's no room for you. We have a new version of what the city is, and it doesn't have room for people like you. That's what it tells me, and that's what it tells a lot of these homeless people. And even though some homeless people bring things on themselves by some of their behavior, there's other people that are just trying to be self-employed and just trying to do something that was a long-held reputation the city always had, that there were buskers and there were jugglers and there were all kinds of people, entertainers on the boardwalk, and regulating them and basically lumping beggars in with them and having them get overpriced licenses where that are only good for a year and still tell you where you're allowed to be. That's not right. I mean, where are people going to get the money to come up with these licenses? They're going to be forced to break the law, and that's what it is. And then if you break the law and you get caught, you have a choice of either doing time served or paying the fines. And since you can't pay the fine, you're going to get a criminal record, and that is what the whole point is. Keep the haves, keep your noses clean, but the have-nots, if you get a criminal record, then you'll never have any privacy. And a lot of times, if you get to a felony, you lose your right to vote. Yeah. Oh, we're going to be talking about voting rights and homeless people in a further interview, but yeah. Nice paint job on the boardwalk. Gotta love it. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.